I know that you already been standing, but here's the verse that I'm going to take you to. Mark chapter 8, verse 23 simply says this. He took the blind man by the hand and led him out of town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands on him, he asked him if he saw anything. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. If you're taking notes, if you have the Z-Hill Connect and you're writing your notes in the back of the program, if you're doing it on your smartphone, if you're on Twitter, on Facebook right now in the middle of church, hit the Wi-Fi and send this out. It's okay to be uncomfortably healed.
Well, preach, Pastor.
Uncomfortably healed. Every person in here has been sick with something. But you realize that but not every person in here has been sick with a life-threatening or debilitating condition. Right. Mr. Thompson, prayerfully, most of us, the worst illness we might have gotten have been maybe a cold, maybe even the flu. And many of us might even get sick a couple times a year, and within the first few days we're healed and we feel much better. But some people can use, while some people can use over-the-counter medicine or even a prescription or two of antibiotics and return to normal health. But there are some people who can live their whole life and rarely catch a cold or even have the chills. Right. But there are some of us who from an early in life had to deal with some major health issues. I fall in that category of people who had serious health conditions from an early age. You see, I had asthma, and I'll never forget the pain of having asthma attacks. I'll never forget the countless numbers of painful needles that were jabbed in my arms. I'll never forget the pain and the burning and the tears and the agony of wanting to avoid the shots, but desperately needing the needles to save my life. I'll never forget Dr. Murchison and his staff for always skillfully treating me when I was struggling to breathe. I'll never forget my mother sitting up with me late in the midnight hour, patting me on my back and trying to encourage me to calm down and to breathe slowly. My father, I'll never forget him taking off days of work and taking me to emergency doctor's appointments so I can get these needles jabbed in my arm. I'll never forget the relief I felt when my lungs began to relax and the tension in my chest was gone and I wasn't crying because of the pain anymore. I don't know if anybody knows about how it feels to be in pain, but I know how it feels to not have your breath almost taken away from you. You got to see, John, I didn't realize as a child how severe asthma was. I didn't know that each time I had an attack, my lungs could have suffocated me. I didn't know that asthma was a life-changing and life-taking condition. It wasn't until I was a teacher and I went to several funerals of students who had succumbed to asthma that I realized that could have been me. It could have been me lying in a casket. It could have been me with crushed lungs. It could have been me dying in my mother's office. It could have been me without a bright future left behind. It could have been me, but now watching my family from heaven. Yes, yes. Bishop, I saw, but God saw fit to keep me in my illness.
Thank you, Lord.
Gave me some parents who was sacrificed for me and put me under the care of a doctor who uncomfortably healed my condition. I'm glad to say today my asthma is well controlled. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I have asthma no more. I just have some allergies to deal with it.
Thank you, God.
Today in our text, we discover a blind man who is uncomfortably healed. He's brought to Jesus by some people, and the context of their relationship to each other is not shared with us. The history of the man is not shared with us. How long the man had been blind is not shared with us. All we know is a blind man is someone thought enough of him to bring him to Jesus so he could potentially be healed. Mommy, I think that just said something. All we know is the man is blind. And someone thought enough of him to bring him to Jesus so he could potentially be healed. All right, this isn't for everyone because some people you're connected to are too selfish and could care less if you're healed. But most of us know some people who want to see you healed, and even if you don't know their names, it's okay. They know Jesus could potentially heal you if you have an encounter with him. Well, here it is. I urge somebody in here to find some people in your life that want better for you. Find some people that want to see greater for you. Find some people that are not so self-consumed by what they want and what they don't have, that they don't have time to help you get what you need. Find some people who will get you to the doctor when you need him. Find some people, Mommy, who will get you to the miracle worker when you need him. Find some people, Reggie, who will get you to Jesus in spite of your condition. Everybody doesn't want to see you healed, delivered or set free. But there are some people who want to see you reach your destiny, and want to see you delivered, and want to see you set free. And they will own the only way they know, the only way you will reach your destiny and be delivered and set free is when you meet Jesus. Yeah, my grandmother sang a song, "Somebody Prayed for Me," had me on their mind, took the time and prayed for me. I'm so glad she prayed. I'm so glad she prayed. I'm so glad she prayed for me. You don't have to know their names. You don't have to know why. All you need to do is thank God for the prayers for being answered. Is there anybody in here that can say, I'm glad somebody prayed for me and got you to Jesus? Well, we find this blind man in verse 22 of the 8th chapter of Mark. Someone has brought this sightless man to Jesus. And the first thing we see in an uncomfortable healing is Jesus will take your hand. He'll take your hand. During most calls of salvation, I ask people who are considering to give their life to Christ to be saved to put their hand in the minister's hand and walk down the aisle to the altar. I ask this when you put your hand in the hand because holding hands while you're going through a change can be comforting in an uncomfortable situation. For some people, walking down the aisle of church in front of 40 strangers can be intimidating and cause them a sense of anxiety and embarrassment. Their heart might want to be saved, but the anxiety of people looking at me as I make this decision can make me stay in my seat. But if you got your hand, a hand to hold, on just maybe you'll be confident enough to step into the aisle and nervously walk to the altar and publicly accept Jesus Christ as your Savior. Well, the blind man was brought to Jesus by some people who apparently knew the power of Jesus, and when they called on Jesus, he put the blind man's hand in his hand. The first thing we witness if you're about to be uncomfortably healed is Jesus will take you by the hand. I believe Jesus does this because he needs us to be reassured that even in uncomfortable situations, as long as your hand is in his hand, you'll be okay. Here it is. All of us have walked into uncomfortable situations before. As long as we were uncomfortable, we didn't enjoy our surroundings. We didn't embrace the possibilities. We didn't look forward to what was about to happen. We didn't notice the opportunities being presented. We just wanted to get back to a place where we felt comfortable. But if by chance someone came along and walked us into the same situation, we probably would have been comforted in an uncomfortable situation and able to embrace the changes that are challenging us to grow. Here it is. If we're waiting for the comfortable to be comfortable in every situation, we might as well be waiting for our whole life for the situation just to get right. But all we really need to do is make sure our hand is open so Jesus can put his hand in our hand. Then he will be able to lead us through the situation. It might be uncomfortable. It might be our anxiety might flare up. We might feel like quitting. We might try to give up. But I believe that when Jesus wants to heal us, he will comfort us even when it's painful. He will comfort us even when everyone looks at us crazy. He will comfort us even when we don't know what will happen next. If Jesus can calm the seas and shush the waves, surely he can soothe your anxiety. If he can raise the dead, surely he can speak life into you. If he can restore the lepers, surely he can restore your health. He can restore all the things you got. If he can make promises on the cross, surely his goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. Surely he's able to keep you from falling. Surely he's able to comfort you in times of trouble. Surely he's able to lead you in the paths of righteousness. Surely he's able to save you from yourself. Amen. Is your hand open to receive? Are you ready to start the process of an uncomfortable healing? Secondly, we learn if we're in an uncomfortable healing, we learn that we could be disrespected for the cure.
My God.
Well,
my God.
Verse 23, part B says, John, he said this, and when he had spit on his eyes. There are so many forms of disrespect that are prevalent in our world today.
Have mercy.
We could take a list and make a list. We all could be here for another couple of hours talking about all the disrespect ways that people exist now. And I'm almost 100% sure nobody in here would sign up for anything at any time to deliberately be disrespected for any reason. It doesn't matter if it was intended or unintentional. Disrespect is something most people don't take lightly.
That's right.
But the fact is, disrespect is alive and well in our church, Sharon. That is alive and well in our world. Not a day goes by, Reggie, when I can see how giving respect is no longer a priority.
My God.
But disrespectful behavior is acceptable and sometimes applauded.
My God.
You all remember there used to be a time when children weren't even to say, it just slipped out without getting smacked upside the head.
Right.
Now they curse wherever they want to, whenever they want to whoever they want to. And if their parents make them mad, they'll cuss them out too. Y'all ain't got to teach. Y'all don't have to. I know I can get an amen. Ain't that right, sister? There are times when we used to open doors and held the doors for elders, but now you be lucky to walk through the door before it gets you cussed the back of your ankle. There used to be a time when people would put their cigarettes, close their bottles, and stop cursing as they walk past the church. Now they put their cigarette out on the steps, throw the bottle on the grass, throw the butt in the sidewalk, and even now curse inside the sanctuary. Y'all ain't got to say amen. I know it's right because I seen it happen. There was a time when you would help an elderly person cross the street. Now they better be ready to tuck and roll as they cross the street because people are in a rush and you better get out their way because they're going nowhere fast. Y'all, disrespect has gotten out of control. The sad reality is even church folk have become accustomed to disrespecting other people. I don't know, y'all might even say amen. I never thought I would hear old ladies disrespecting children instead of challenging children to grow and be a better person. I never thought I would hear church folk hurting other people because they are not the way they used to be. I never imagined church folk stabbing each other in the back or gossiping about critical life decisions of Christians as if the sanctuary has become a late night reality show. I never would have guessed that church would be a place where someone comes in for healing but leaves hurt by the people who claim to love Jesus. I don't know if I got a witness. I never thought I would hear of church being a place where broken people look down on broken people, not for not looking like cleaned up broken people.
Preach, Pastor. Preach, Pastor.
I never thought church would be a place where taking advantage of people would be commonplace.
My God.
And there are many thieves in the church as where they are in the streets. Well, here it is. Have a seat down there. Have a seat down there. In our text, we witnessed.
Lord have mercy.
In our text, we witnessed Jesus take the blind man by the hand to make him comfortable. Then he spits on him.
Preach, Pastor Logan. Preach, black man.
Couldn't he just touched his eyes?
Right.
Couldn't he have just commanded his eyes to see?
Right.
Couldn't he have just used a cup of water?
Right.
But instead of any of that, he spits in his face.
My God.
Morgan, John Jr., I don't know. Here's what I discovered. In an uncomfortable healing, Jesus will use whatever method of healing necessary to get your immediate attention. I believe sometimes Jesus got to get our immediate attention for us to realize he is trying to pull us out of our situation. But he healed the blind man. But in the context of time, he disrespected him in the process. He spit in the eyes of the man. Y'all, the very place on his body that was afflicted and needed healing. What part of your life does Jesus need to disrespect for him to get your immediate attention? Let me come get you. There are situations in all our lives where we want Jesus to heal. The reality is most of us don't want to go through some uncomfortable changes to get to the healing. You want to be loved. You want to be loved.
Right.
But you won't leave that no good Negro alone so your heart can heal and make room for the right man to love you. Y'all, you want more patience, but every chance you get to demonstrate understanding, you got to give them one more piece of your mind. You want to be out of debt, but you can't go a day without spending more money that you got in your wallet. You want peace in your mind, but you aren't willing to let go some of the past hurts as if they make you stronger. You want a brighter today, but today you're still as mean as you were yesterday. You don't appreciate what you have, and you're willing to take advantage of others to get you moving ahead. Now Jesus has to disrespect you and disrupt your comfort zone to get you from your situation. You can't treat people any kind of way and think Jesus is going to bless you. You can't live any kind of way and think Jesus is going to bless you. You can't serve any kind of way and expect him anointed. You can't expect Jesus healing and expect to remain the same, doing the same thing the same old way that got you sick and tired in the first place.
Preach, Pastor Logan. God.
Yeah. He'll disrespect you for the cure. Here it is. You want to stop smoking. And now you're surrounded by all these people who can't stand the smell of smoke on your breath. You want to stop drinking. Now, the people you used to drink with can't stand your drunken attitude. You want more help with problems you have, but you never lift a hand to help somebody else. You want to stop being in bondage, but yet you won't stop holding people accountable for the hurt that happened in your life 10, 15, 20 years ago. You want to be healed, but every time you get a chance to grow, you discount the process because the results aren't fast enough. The reality is Jesus has to disrespect us and discomfort us from our comfort zone in order to put us in position to heal. And if he disrespects you, he will get your attention because that's what he was supposed to do. Some people are used to being comfortable and in uncomfortable situations. So when he disrespects you now, you have to say, hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
I know this man named Jesus didn't just spit on me. I know this man named Jesus didn't just push me out of my comfort zone. I know this man didn't just disrespect me. And just when you're ready to give him a piece of your mind, he puts his hands on you. Y'all, here it is. That leads me to my third point. He puts his hands on you. He puts his hands on you. Cornisha, good to see you. And when he had spit on his eyes, he put his hands on you. And as if it wasn't enough for you to be disrespected, now he puts his hands on you. Jesus spit on him, then grabbed him with both hands. It's comforting when Jesus holds our hands and walks us through a situation.
That's right.
It feels good knowing whether we're walking confidently or even walking timidly, Jesus is holding my hand.
Yes.
But sometimes, Shantaria, I need Jesus to grab hold of my life and point me in the direction even if it's uncomfortable. Have you ever found yourself always seeming to go down the wrong road? Have you ever felt like every road or every lead was a dead end? Have you ever wondered why you just can't get a few steps ahead of the enemy? Why is everyone turning their back on me? Where are all the people who I helped when they were struggling, and now not one of them, not even a mouse is willing to help me. But if you are fortunate to have somebody in your life who will bring you to Jesus, you're a blessed person. Because no matter how Jesus blesses you, you will be healed, even in disrespect. Jesus can grasp your circumstances. And here it is. The problem is, the problem is, there is no problem you have that is too hard for Jesus to solve.
That's right.
There is nothing you're going through that Jesus can't bring you through. There is no challenge you face that he cannot defeat.
That's right.
And there is no illness you have that if Jesus puts his hand on you, he cannot heal. But I don't know about you, but I don't come to church every week for Jesus to leave me in my uncomfortable circumstances. He can grasp me, he can pull me, he can push me out the way, he can lift me up, he can move me out the way. I've given him authority to rule in my life.
That's right.
I may not like all the decisions he makes, but I'm willing to live in accordance to his direction.
That's right.
If you want Jesus to heal you in your situations, then we have to be willing to let him grasp us in the circumstances. Take control of the brokenness of your life. He will move some things around. He's going to change some things around. He's going to disrupt some things around. He might even disrespect some things. But although it's uncomfortable, when you think of how the enemy wants to kill you before you reach your destiny, the uncomfortableness that we feel in the hands of Jesus is only temporary but necessary for the preparation of our healing. Here it is, y'all. Some of us are on the cusp of getting what we need. You're uncomfortable in most areas of life, and Jesus knows all about it. You've been disrespected, you've been hurt, you've been neglected, you're lonely, you've been lied on, you've been overlooked, you've been cast aside. But now Jesus has his hands on you, and what the devil meant to kill you, Jesus will use it for your good. The enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus came that you might have life and have life more abundantly. Y'all, I'm so glad I'm in the hands of Jesus. I'm in his hands, there is healing. I'm so glad, mommy, I'm in the hands of Jesus, because in his hands there is deliverance. I'm so glad I'm in the hands of Jesus, because in his hands there the wounded are made whole. I'm so glad I'm in the hands of Jesus, because in his hands there is rest for our weary soul. I'm so glad I'm in the hands of Jesus, because there's peace beyond your circumstances. In your hands there is joy the world can't take away. In his hands there is unconditional love. In his hands you can hold on break. Brethren, in his hands, yokes are broken and storms are calm. In Jesus' hands, families are restored. In Jesus' hands, hope is restored. In Jesus' hands, marriages are restored. Drug addicts become alcohol. Drug addicts become deacons. Prostitutes become stewards. Gangs become hope dealers. Murderers become soul savers. In Jesus' hands, liars and cheaters become missionaries. In Jesus' hands, all.
Hallelujah.
The circumstances of life are at his will.
Thank you, God.
If the will of God on your life is where you want to be, let Jesus grasp the circumstances of your life. Will you go through an uncomfortable healing? Absolutely.
Yes.
But if you want to be in the will of God, it's not until we get into the hands of Christ where our life can be pointed in a new direction.
That's right. That's right.
In the process of an uncomfortable healing. Here it is, let's recap. Jesus will take you by the hand. Secondly, don't be surprised if you're disrespected for the change. And then thirdly, allow Jesus to grasp the circumstances in your life and put his hands on you.
Amen.
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 Amen. Come on, give God some praise.
Hallelujah.